الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله فإن الله تعالى مع المتقين وبعد. As an ummah, we have a methodology of approach to our way of living, and that methodology of approach is defined by the framework of Islam. The halal, the haram, that which is in between, as the Prophet ﷺ clearly stated for us. إن الحلال بين وإن الحرام بين وبينهما أمور مشتبهات لا يعلمهن كثير من الناس. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, the halal is clear, the haram is clear, and between them are matters, affairs that are unclear, unknown to many. And some of the ulama, they say that what is known here by unknown to many is that the ulama of Islam, they are the ones who will know the ruling of such things, that which is unknown to the regular lay people such as ourselves. And so, as an ummah, when we are presented with new affairs, new things, new inventions, we have to reflect over these things, and we have to think about these things, and we have to consider the consequence of using these things, the short-term consequences and the long-term consequences. We do not simply rush into something new head first. No, we are an ummah of reflection. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us in the Quran, do they not comprehend? Do they not contemplate? Do they not reflect? Do they not use their capacity to understand? And so we have to think about things, and the main question we should ask ourselves before we adopt something new, is this pleasing to Allah Azza wa Jal? Simple. Is it pleasing to Allah Azza wa Jal? And the answer to that depends. Is there benefit? Is there harm? Is there oppression involved? Is there anything to do with going against some of the principles of Islam? And so I would like to present such a question around the use of AI, artificial intelligence. And of course, I'm not an expert, but there are some concerns that should be raised. And the concerns I am going to raise are based upon that which is being seen on the ground, issues that we are dealing with now as a community because of the introduction of AI and the adoption of AI without any consideration for the consequences of such a concept, such a thing. AI meaning artificial intelligence. And the most prominent usage, of course, coming through the use of chat bots, chat GPT, Gemini, Copilot, and so on and so forth. And of course, there are now custom chatbots. And the idea behind it is that a program is designed which utilizes information available online to provide answers detailed and summarized, etc., when someone is looking for something. That's the basic concept. And so the first concern that I am going to start with is a concern around the use of AI, chat GPT, whatever you would like to call it, your bot of preference when it comes to Islamic affairs. Very, very problematic. Why? Number one, there is a qa'idah which is known to the fuqaha of Islam, agreed upon across the madahib. In order to give a fatwa, there is a condition amongst the conditions, ma'rifatu hal al-mustafti, to know the situation, the circumstance of the individual who is posing a question. For this reason, the ulama of one country cannot talk about issues that pertain to another country. Human ulama, qualified ulama, scholars of Islam who are qualified to speak about Islam cannot issue a ruling or legislation about an issue which is within a different region or country from that which they reside in. So what about using artificial intelligence to seek understanding of Islam? It's very problematic, and it becomes very confusing. And now, unfortunately, and it may come across as harsh and blunt, but these discussions have to be had, and voices have to be heard, different perspectives. And if we are going to learn, and if we are going to develop, then we have to have a willingness and an ability to be offended. If we are sensitive to being offended, then we cannot learn and we cannot develop ourselves. There are individuals now developing Sheikh GPTs, Islam GPTs, and this is dangerous. This is dangerous. The confusion that people are suffering from due to the internet alone, seeking understanding of Islam on the internet alone. Imagine the dangers and the calamities that can strike if we start to depend on GPT bots as a source of information about Islam. And of course, it is known that AI bots, whatever you would like to call them, They hallucinate. They provide false information. They provide false information. They fabricate ahadith. They fabricate verses from the Quran. In fact, there was a recent example where a verse was fabricated and presented within a khutbah that was sent out generically. Dangerous. And so we have to be cautious in our approach to utilizing new things. And the problem is as well here that there is a cultural gap between the older generation and the younger generation. And when I speak about the cultural gap, I'm speaking about a cultural gap in the usage of technology here, where the younger generation are using these apps and the older generation aren't even aware of these apps, and they are not aware of the dangers. The first, and of course this will be brief because it's a khutbah. The first, using ChatGPT in order to understand Islam, not acceptable, not correct, should not be done. Using ChatGPT or using an AI model or an AI app to teach Islam. An example, a Quran app which teaches a person how to read the Quran, and it is an AI-based app. Problematic. Why? Because there is a relationship that should develop between the teacher and the student. One of the key components to learning Islam is having a relationship with a teacher of Islam who had a relationship with his or her teacher, who had a relationship with their teacher, and so on and so forth. There are aspects of qualification which do not come from the books. Character, accountability. And so if you have a person who has learned how to read the Quran from a chatbot, dangerous, very problematic. And the concept, perhaps using AI within a medical capacity, an engineering capacity, architectural capacity, perhaps some of these dangers are not relevant there. But we're talking about the framework of Islam. Within the framework of Islam, it is problematic to depend upon AI as a source of information, as a source of teaching. And we have to get this message across to our children clearly, and for ourselves. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, كَفَى لِلْمَرْءِ إِثْمًا أَنْ يُحَدِّثَ بِكُلِّ مَا سَمِعَ. It is enough of a sin for a person to go to the hellfire, that he relays everything that he is informed of or that he hears. This is in relation to information given by humans. What about artificial intelligence? The second issue, an issue which is taking place, and parents have to be aware of this, that there are individuals, students, that are using AI now to produce essays, dissertations, and so on and so forth. Using AI to produce homework. What's the ultimate consequence of this? You are going to have a person, as AI develops, as these apps develop, and their ability to produce content develops, what's going to happen? And the level that they can produce content at now is already extremely high, an extremely high standard. In fact, a test was conducted, and you can find the information online. A test was conducted wherein an AI bot was put through a medical exam and passed all 3 exams and technically qualified as a medical practitioner. The theoretical side. Highly advanced. So what's going to happen if I rely on such a device in order to produce my work whilst I'm studying? I'm going to graduate and I'm going to be unqualified. And so I am going to be trusted by people. For example, a medical practitioner who did not produce their own work while studying, unqualified. An engineer, unqualified. An architect, unqualified. Whatever field it is, a scholar of Islam, unqualified, whatever field it is, what will happen to society? Society will collapse as a result. Because you have unqualified individuals in roles that require qualified individuals. And there is a statement, there is a famous saying within the framework of Islam or amongst the circles of ulama of the past, إِنَّ مِن بَرَكَةِ الْعِلْمِ أَن تُضِيفَ الشَّيْءَ إِلَى قَائِلِهِ. from the blessings of knowledge, in order to receive the blessings of knowledge, from the etiquettes is to show where you have taken your knowledge from. And so, if I were to ask someone else to write my essay for me, and then present it to my teacher as if I myself, I've written this essay, someone would say, this is lying. It's lying. The Prophet ﷺ, what did he say? مَنْ غَشَّنَا فَلَيْسَ مِنَّا. Whoever cheats us is not from us. Because lying and cheating is not from the character of a Muslim. مَنْ غَشَّنَا فَلَيْسَ مِنَّا. So now, if someone else has produced my work and I present it to my teacher, as if I myself have written this, everyone will say this is lying. What's the difference if it's produced by an AI bot? What's the difference? It's still cheating. Unless I put at the bottom of the work, ChatGPT. It's cheating. And likewise, using AI bots in work. Using AI bots whilst I am working, problematic. Deferring my work to a program unless it is accepted within the work structure and within the work culture that these bots are allowed to be used and the remit within which they can be used are defined. But if I am producing work with a chat bot, an AI bot, and I'm presenting it as my own, I am cheating. And this is haram. مَنْ غَشَّنَا فَلَيْسَ مِنَّا. And now a person can feed these AI bots their own work and ask the AI bot to mimic the work that he or she has produced. Complete cheating. And so young people in attendance, it's haram for you to do this. It's haram. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, مَنْ غَشَّنَا فَلَيْسَ مِنَّا. Whoever cheats us is not from us. And our teachers may not find out, our parents may not find out, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees. The great Imam النووي رحمه الله تعالى, he says, وَمِنَ النَّصِيحَةِ أن تضاف الفائدة التي تستغرب إلى قائلها فمن فعل ذلك بورك له في علمه وحاله ومن أوهم ذلك وأوهم فيما يأخذه من كلام غيره أنه له فهو جدير ألا ينتفع بعلمه أو لا ينتفع بعلمه. Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, from the etiquettes of knowledge is that a person attributes that which he has taken from someone to someone else. And this person will receive the blessings of their knowledge. They will benefit from their knowledge, and others will benefit from their knowledge. But the person who takes knowledge from someone else and tries to present it as their own, this person will not find any benefit from that which they are learning and that which they are presenting. And so for us, a principle of character, we do not lie, we do not plagiarize, we do not fool others, and we do not deceive. And so much use that we are using these AI bots of today fall under that. The third issue, which is an issue of concern, statistics, research, and you can find this yourself. Just go online, have a look at the research, the essays, the articles that are being conducted on these issues. AI is leading to a breakdown of social skills. AI is leading to an increased state of loneliness and to an increased mental deterioration, mental health, deterioration of mental health. How so? Studies now are showing that those who use chatbots and develop relationships with these things, they show increased higher levels of loneliness and increased social withdrawal. And they become dependent upon these chatbots for companionship. And this is a real issue, an issue that we are seeing amongst many youth who are conversating with chatbots as if these chatbots are real. And these chatbots have been designed to create an echo chamber, to mimic your emotions, to mimic your likes, to show you empathy. What happens? You become dependent upon this bot, and you are unable to develop real relationships because real humans do not function in such a way. Real humans do not mimic. We are individuals in our character, in our personalities. And so a person should not be conversating with an AI bot as if it's a real person, And we should not allow our children to do so. And it's so strange to say such a thing. But this is what is happening. And some may think it sounds ridiculous, but this is happening. Young people, depressed, using AI bots to conversate with, as if the AI bot is a friend. And in fact, I was informed, I did not check this myself, but I was informed by an AI technician that in America, someone looking into the ethics of AI, that in America, there were 2 young people who developed relationships with chatbots, and these chatbots encouraged them and took them to a very bad ending. And I will not elaborate due to some of the younger audience here, but took them to a very bad ending, encouraged them. And so we have to be aware of these things as parents, as individuals. And social media itself has led to a decline in our ability to socialize. Social media, marriages are breaking down because of social media. What about a bot that mimics human behavior and creates an echo chamber for you based upon your personality? Dangerous. And the third, reliance on these bots as a medium of comprehension. Relying on them as a medium of comprehension. Studies are showing that students are using ChatGPT to write up essays, as has been mentioned, using it to produce work in their workplaces, using these bots for research purposes. And so we will have a generation, we had a generation who understood how to use books, how to go to the library, how to reference, how to search, how to use paper material. Then came a generation that did not know how to use the library. Many did not even visit a library. Libraries shutting down, books becoming a myth, relying upon the internet for essays and research and so on and so forth. Now will come a generation that don't even know how to use the internet. Now will come a generation that only know how to give prompts. A generation that do not know how to cross-reference. What will this do to society? Not only will it dumb us down, but it will destroy our integrity academically. And so there is so much to think about when it comes to AI and the use of AI. We should not be an ummah that runs into things and rushes into things. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وحده صلوات ربي وسلامه على أشرف الأنبياء ومن تبعه وبعد. To conclude and to be brief, as I have so much that I wanted to discuss, but time is short. 2 issues to add in addition to that which has been mentioned, and there are so many issues. So many issues. And we need to think about the Islamic ethics of AI. What does the deen, how does the deen guide us when using things? As was mentioned in the beginning, we are losing our capacity to think. As a collective, humankind, we are losing our capacity to think. And we owe social media for much of this. Now, many people live within a social echo chamber online. They are only subjected to their own views and their own understanding of the world, of things. And so they don't know how to interact with someone who has a different view. They don't know how to be appreciative of different perspectives. So AI is going to contribute towards this. How so? Removes the thinking process, removes the critical thinking process, removes the analytical thinking process from the way that we deal with information. AI has also been proven to misspread information. False information is prevalent. It's prevalent. I was informed of one situation, a chatbot designed to produce Islamic work, and it produced a hadith which instructs a person on how to fix his car. The Prophet ﷺ, according to the chatbot, apparently instructed us on how to fix our cars. And we're going to rely on such a service for information? The last point to consider when we think about AI, the environmental impact of AI. The environmental impact of AI. And to be brief, without mentioning the statistics and data, etc., just because of time, the data centers required in order to train an AI bot, they can produce around 626,000 pounds of carbon dioxide, which is the equivalent of around 300 round trips from New York to San Francisco, nearly 5 times the lifetime emissions of the average car, to train one AI bot, a training center. What about sustained usage of that? And we are khulafa Allah ala al-ard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us responsibility of this earth to look after it. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, from the lowest forms of iman is what? Imatatul adha anit tariq. To remove harm from the pathway is one of the lowest forms of iman. And so we have to be considerate of these things. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, do not waste water in reference to wudu, even if you are on a running river. And so we are an ummah of reflection. But today we act like a blind ummah. We run into things blindly. And the only thing so far for us, from an Islamic perspective, that these chatbots and AI apps, etc., will provide is convenience. Convenience. Things can be done quickly. We don't need this. And it's not to suggest that there is no good use to these things. No, but it's a discussion that needs to be had. And we should not jump into the deep end. We should reflect, pause, consider before we go ahead with things. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وارض اللهم عن أبي بكر وعن عمر وعن عثمان وعن علي وعن سائر الصحابة أجمعين اللهم تب علينا واعف عنا إنك أنت العفو الكريم اللهم اهدنا إلى ما يرضيك عنا يا رب العالمين اللهم استعملنا ولا تستبدلنا اللهم انصر إخواننا في فلسطين وفي أنحاء العالم يا رب العالمين اللهم ارفع راية الإسلام وجعلنا من الرافعين له اللهم أزهدنا في الدنيا يا رب العالمين وأعرضنا عنه وأقم الصلاة.